If you're looking to play Mistweaver in Raid this tier, there are a few things that you should know, especially if you're used to playing it in keys, as the gameplay actually changes quite a bit. Your highest priority abilities are Rushing Wind Kick, Renewing Mist, and Vivify, and you cast basically 0 Tiger Palm or Blackout Kicks. Most of the healing is coming from casted spells, Vivify, Renewing Mist, and Enveloping Mist, as well as Rushing Wind Kick. Now, Mistweaver is still considered a melee spec when it comes to mechanic assignments, or just not reliant on melee range abilities to get throughput with the raid playstyle. When starting a new tier, it is safe to assume that you will be considered melee for mechanic assignments, though we are often excluded from that classification, as being a healer overwrites the melee assignment. This isn't always the case, and some mechanics do impact ranged and healer, in which we would be healer for that assignment and basically lumped in with the ranged players, but it's really a case-by-case situation for those. It's not super consistent, but generally assume melee until we learn otherwise. And in Raid, we are actually higher actions per minute than we are in keys. It's not just melee abilities that we're pressing. Renewing Mist, Rushing Wind Kick, Vivify, Manatee, we're almost global locked in Raid, so keep that in mind. You should always be pressing something. Stat-wise, this is a very normal priority for Mistweaver, Haste and Crit being our top 2, and Verse and Mass being our bottom 2, with Mastery having basically 0 interaction with our raid build. Our class talents don't really change. Depending on the fight requirements, you could take Link Spirits, but generally you shouldn't need to change anything here. For spec talents, because this is primarily focused on renewing Mistbread and hot maintenance, the only change we make in Raid really is Revival or Restoral. This doesn't change the power of the ability. Restoral just doesn't dispel magic debuffs, so this is something you'd have on by default and then swap to Revival if you do need to mass dispel a magic debuff. The raid build still plays Conduit of the Celestials, with the 2 most important nodes being Celestial Conduit itself being an additional cooldown, and Heart of the Jade Serpent providing cooldown reduction on our highest priority abilities. Rushing Wind Kick should be used on cooldown. This will do healing itself and also apply Renewing Mist through Rapid Diffusion, and extend any hots through Rising Mist. Cannot overstate the importance of this ability, genuinely use this on cooldown. Renewing Mist is our second highest priority, being the main way that we heal the raid through the hot itself, small priority from the Mistline talent, and small raid-wide amp through Lotus Infusion. A lot of raid healing is done through Vivify with Vivify Cleave. Your main goal is to have as many Renewing Mists out as you can, all of the time. Vivify is our main cast heal and how we actually heal the raid. This will heal your primary target as well as all Renewing Mist targets. Enveloping Mist is another cast spell. This is a heal amp and also works with Rapid Diffusion. Enveloping Mist is primarily used during Yu'lon or to activate Spirit Font. Spirit Font is our Apex talent. When activated, it will provide smaller chi cocoons and heal injured allies with a weaker Soothing Mist until they are full health, and then it will jump to another injured target. If there's no eligible target, it will turn off, so make sure that people are moderately injured if you're planning on using Enveloping Mist primarily for Spirit Font. Manatee is something that you use in downtime, which isn't really a thing for us, but generally when Rushing Wind Kick is on cooldown, Renewing Mist is on cooldown, the healing required is either low or none, and you have missing mana, then you can use Manatee. This is really just our active mana management throughout the fight. Thunder Focus Tea empowers 2 abilities with Focus Thunder. Both charges ideally should be used on Renewing Mist, but using Renewing Mist and then Rushing Wind Kick is also okay. This is the gameplay and the spell priority outside of cooldowns. Basically using everything on cooldown as maintenance, and then spamming Vivify as the raid is injured, while still using Renewing Mist and Rushing Wind Kick on cooldown. As far as our healing cooldowns go, you can basically use Life Cocoon on cooldown for refreshment for mana management, but there may be some situations where this gets assigned to cover a mechanic. Revival is extremely weak right now, and genuinely not worth assigning as a cooldown to cover any decent throughput requirement. You can use this on cooldown, or it may be used as a master spell depending on the fight. Celestial Conduit is more personal use for Mistweaver, as it provides cooldown reduction through Heart of the Jade Serpent and Unity Within. This should be used often, but it should also be used when there is healing to do so that you don't waste the healing. And Yu'lon is our main cooldown and our most effective cooldown, as it carries over into our regular gameplay beyond the duration of cooldown itself. For the Yu'lon windows, it will look something like this. Use your Thunder Focus Tea with your Renewing Mist for the haste and the cooldown reduction on Rushing Wind Kick and Renewing Mist. Use your Rushing Wind Kick to get it on cooldown and to extend those mists as well as any others that may be out, and then you can actually press Yu'lon. Use Enveloping Mist a couple of times, like 3 or 4, basically until Rushing Wind Kick is back up. Use that to extend the mist that you just put out. Continue this for the duration of Yu'lon, making sure that your renewing Mist do not get overcapped, and rushing wind kick should always still be used on cooldown. Outside of hitting your cooldown assignments, just return to your maintenance and your regular gameplay loop.